Hey, everybody, Off the Mic Sports Network here. Another edition of Off the Top Rope. Another thing that you guys have gotten at me in the comments for because, I'm so critical of Mercedes Moné. You were like, Mike, how could you talk about all of these things about Mercedes Moné and you're not going to talk about that shit match that happened on Raw between Jade Cargill and Roxanne Perez? Okay, first of all, it wasn't that bad of a match. I will say this, the finish was really sloppy. It was not great, okay? It did not look great for a lot of people. Jade is still very, very green in the ring. From a physical perspective, there is nobody, male or female, I will say, that looks like Jade Cargill. She looks like a superhero, okay? She has one of the most unique looks this side of Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair may be the other person. They're like it's almost perfect that those two are ingrained in the storyline because they literally are almost the same people in a lot of respects. Jade, like seriously, has like about a 12 pack. Like, and and it's crazy because her husband, Brandon Phillips, was a pretty good professional athlete for the Cincinnati Reds, played some baseball for a long time. And Jade, from an athletic perspective, might have him beat. And they've made a daughter. I'm scared to know what type of athlete she is. But anyway, getting to this point on Jade Cargill. Um, the AEW criticism, because I've already talked about this with Blake Monroe, Jade gets a lot of criticism too. And I don't understand what Jade did wrong, okay? Jade had other aspirations beyond wrestling. And she had a really good run in AEW. You guys seem to tell me that, even though her TBS title run was much like, it was very similar to the run of Blake Monroe. It just was it was about the same period of time. She just won a bunch of matches, then lost to Chris Statlander a couple of times, and then was gone from from AEW and immediately went to WWE. I mean, for God's sake, her first match, think about this, guys. And I'm sure some of you AEW sickos remember, but it was like, it was in a really dark point. It was like right in the middle of, it was a few months away from us being back in front of full fans. But her first match in AEW involved Cody Rhodes. Brandy Rhodes wasn't there because Brandy was pregnant. It was Red Velvet and Cody taking on Jade Cargill and Shaquille O'Neal. Like, remember that? Remember that? Look, Jade, I don't know if she'll ever be, from a wrestling perspective, like the greatest bell-to-bell wrestler. I don't know if that's ever going to be her forte. But what I will say is this, and they've got some, and she's still got some work to do, but I think she has gotten significantly better from what she was. And it's to me, like, I don't know what you guys want me to say about this match with Roxanne Perez. She's being put into a position. She has a look to her that is unique and distinguishable. People like her clearly. Her wrestling ability is not going to be perfect, but I'm not going to go as far as to say that she's fucking awful. I mean, she's middle of the road, but like the amount of people that were getting in my chat about, man, Jade Cargill really fucking sucked. The reason why I said that Jade Cargill, from a context, has had, so in terms of like, the whole package, like she has had more character moments. And like from that attack, you guys remember the attack at Elimination Chamber? She was great in that. She has been great in this Bianca Belair and Naomi thing. It's really helped Naomi get to a new level too. That whole element, talking about elevating people. And, yes, was this a drag a little bit at the end of the match? Sure. But, not everything is going to be perfect, okay? You guys act like just because Mercedes, and I've been critical of her, but here's the difference. Mercedes has been doing this since she was like a fucking teenager. She's been doing this like since she was like 20 years old. She's been doing this for like 15, 20 years. Jade is being brought in to wrestling as a basketball player. And yes, she's probably on the same level. I would look and liken her to some of these other NXT people who have been kind of molded like a Sol Ruka. So, in a certain respect, do I think she skipped a grade really in a lot of respects? Probably. But look at her, man. If WWE puts Jade Cargill in NXT, and I understand that Mariah May, Blake Monroe is on the same respect, and she should probably go to the main roster too. But Blake Monroe is an established vet in terms of like her wrestling ability, but to the point of, she could really benefit from, like, her acumen of elevating some stars in NXT. Jade, on the other hand, is one of those people who is a star, but she can go in and be like, like you guys, you look at some of these monster heels. Like, remember how much we hated Nia Jax? Like, I'll put this in a women's perspective. Remember how much we didn't like? Nia's become a pretty good wrestler and molded herself into something. Like, it's not going to happen overnight, okay? And all you people in the AEW side were hammering my comments and hammering away at everything. And yet, a few years ago, when she was running roughshod through this division, and you were like, "Oh my God, she's the greatest thing ever. She looks like a goddess," and all this other stuff. And now, in the same way that you guys are turning on Blake Monroe, Mariah May, you're turning on Jade, and you're using one, sloppy finish. And yeah, her matches haven't been perfect, but we're not, like I said, that's not why she's there, okay? WWE is not just about the wrestling. The wrestling is important, yes, but Jade has become perfectly adequate in the ring for what she is as a wrestler. She is a bigger, more intimidating wrestler and a more intimidating woman in that division. So, like I said, she's not going to have like these 75 holds and all these things that Mercedes does. Like, they're different performers. So, you guys coming at me for that, like, yes, I will admit the end of that match definitely did not look great. And, her beating Roxanne Perez, say what you will, but it makes sense because she is in a really heated storyline with Naomi. She is potentially going after the championship. Naomi possesses the Money in the Bank briefcase. It naturally makes sense, okay? These situations are not created equally, guys. The expectation in AEW is where the best wrestle. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that Jade needs to be like a 5-star classics. That's not what the expectation was for her. That's what the expectation was for her when she was in AEW. So now it's different when she's in WWE. That's my frustration with that whole topic. So you guys pestered me all week. I didn't really want to broach this topic, but since we're knee deep in this whole thing and you guys think I have this chronic obsession with Mercedes, and I've said she is absolutely a better wrestler than Jade. But from a star potential, Jade's got her. Jade's got a different look. Her offense sometimes can be clunky, but still, she's got room to grow. Mercedes is at her peak right now. And she's been doing this for a lot longer. That I expect more. And I'm hitting my head into the mic. I expect more. So that's always been my place of criticism. And I think it's 100% valid. Like I said, I don't think Jade Cargill is ever going to be considered like, I mean, maybe if she can up her game, I don't think she's ever going to be considered a Hall of Famer. But WWE is taking advantage of star potential, and she's probably going to be seen in movies because look at her, man. She looks different than almost any other, not just woman, any other human being across any wrestling promotion anywhere. She looks like a movie star. She looks like a goddess because you just do not get physiques and looks like her. So yeah, the wrestling is going to come at some point. And I think what the frustration is, she's been in WWE for 2 years and she really hasn't done anything. And they've protected her as much as they can. But she's absolutely gotten better. I said that the end of that match was sloppy. It happens. So go ahead, hammer away at me. Say that I'm a simp. I'm a WWE sicko. Because I'm not. I think I'm more than fair to, like, hey, it was a good match for what it was, and then the finish sucked, which, kind of, I think, brought down the overall quality of it. So we'll see what happens with Asuka on Saturday. That's going to be a really interesting finish that I'm going to keep my eye on. And we'll have a prediction show coming here on the channel relatively shortly. So thanks so much to everybody who subscribes here on the channel. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.